Welcome back to another episode of Approved AF, the licensing podcast. I'm Catalina Stepanoff, and I work behind the scenes at licensingstore.com, where we help mortgage companies just like yours get licensed, stay compliant, and scale without the chaos. Today's guest is Greg Bell, CEO of the Broker LLC, a powerhouse example of what it looks like to build something from the ground up with grit, intention, and a whole lot of hustle. Greg and his business partner launched their mortgage brokerage with vision, drive, and a relentless focus on serving clients with excellence. In today's episode, How to Build Momentum When You're Just Getting Started, Greg shares how he shows up for clients, avoided common pitfalls, and scaled his brokerage by making smart, strategic moves. Whether you're just opening your doors or trying to find traction in a competitive market, this one's full of practical insights and real-world strategies from someone who's been in the trenches. So let's dive in. Today on the show, I have Greg Bell, and welcome, Greg, to Approved AF. For our listeners here who might not know your story or know anything about Broker LLC, give us a little bit of a backstory on who you are and what Broker LLC is all about.
No, absolutely. So my partner and I, Alvin, started the broker, I guess about 2.5 years ago. I've been originating, coming up on 8 years, and Alvin's been in the industry for right at 20 years. Um, I started off in retail, started off at banking, and quickly learned that that was not going to be the spot for me. So I joined the wholesale side in 2018. Alvin, again, mostly a mortgage broker, pretty much his whole 20 years. He left and went retail for 1 year, quickly realized, wholesale's the place to be. So came back to wholesale. He was at his previous company for about 7 or 8 years. And we're just buddies. We were, I don't like to call us competitors, but we were at different shops. And we were out playing golf one summer. And, we just kind of talked about like, hey, is there something that we can do together? He had been in the business a long time and mentioned that he may be looking to retire and get out. I said, well, somebody that's been in that long with that amount of, large of a book, let's just team up. I'll come where you are. You come where I am. I'll do your loans for you. And then, we'll just team up and do this thing. And we had a mortgage conference about 3 months from that conversation. We're like, let's just go see how, what happens. We were there at the same time. He was there with his company. I flew out with my company and came back. This was October. And we were like, you know what? Let's just do our own thing. Let's just give this thing a shot and open up a company. So by November, we had LLC docs formed. And we got our first state of Virginia approved with you guys and your team on February 14th of 2023.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Exactly. Came through on a great day.
Um, when you guys launched again, you were coming in just as partners, maybe probably not having as much of a budget or any kind of capital resources to like just throw out there and waste. So with a tighter budget, how did you feel that you made an impact and that you could still compete with everybody?
Well, it was pretty obvious to us having Alvin coming from a more established mortgage broker shop that had been around a long time. We've got great respect for them and their team. The owner there is amazing, and she's done great things. I had been able to see a couple of broker shops leading up to this point, so we kind of had a good idea of what we wanted to bring to our shop. And uh, to be honest with you, we wanted to mark Hampton Roads, which is our market. It's called Hampton Roads or Tidewater. We wanted to bring a broker shop that's just a little bit different. A lot of the shops in our market are kind of quieter, 1 or 2 man shops that kind of don't really do a lot of marketing. They're just kind of established loan officers that started their broker shop. We wanted to be different. We wanted the name to be known. We really enjoyed being able to get the broker and thought that that was a pretty cool name for us to be able to get out and market. And people would ask, well, what is it that you broker? And really helped. As far as budgeting goes, I'll be honest, between Alvin and myself, we were kind of well funded, so we didn't penny pinch at the beginning. We got a really nice retail space. So we had some road frontage, big sign out front. Between my production, Alvin's production, and we had two loan officers come with us right off the bat. We had a pretty decent amount of production right off the start to get things kicked off as soon as we got that Virginia license and our first license. So, but that's not how it has to be. I've certainly learned that you can be a one-man shop in this in the wholesale side and do really well. You can work out of a home office, limited resources kind of upfront to get started outside of licensing. Certain states will have, certain net worth requirements, but outside of that, you can really get through and get rolling for not a lot of money. We just wanted to kind of post a brand and have a brand out there, the broker, mortgage experts, so that everybody kind of saw it. So we kind of hit the ground running and didn't worry too much about the money up front.
So you guys came obviously with experience, probably like a book of business, like you said.
Yeah.
But what would you say were like your top three moves that made an impact when you first kicked off to help you like attract business?
No, absolutely. I think one thing that's really important, this is going to be with anybody's, whether you're just a loan officer, whether you're not even, you might even be out of this industry and just in business in general, is a good reputation, right? I think our reputations mean a whole lot in this industry. And Alvin and I, knock on wood, we believe we have a good reputation in our market. We've always done what we said we were going to do. We don't jerk people around. We get competitive when we need to get competitive against, people, but we have friends within the industry, with other loan officers at other companies. And I think that's important. So honestly, I think just having a good reputation goes a long way, because you're absolutely right. We're going to get these loan applications in, we get these contracts. And what's the first thing a listing agent says? Well, I've never heard of the broker before. We dealt with that for, the first year for sure. It's important. Every time we'd send a pre-approval letter out, I'd call that listing agent before she had a chance or he had a chance to give me a call. Introduce myself, let them know that I'm local, let them know that I've been originating, let them know that I've got everything in hand. And I think that really made a big difference up front, because again, when you're first starting out, nobody's really going to know your company name. And if they don't know you as an individual loan officer in your market, little things just like reaching out before they do go a long way.
So, like you're saying, that communication, that proactive approach, that costs $0, right?
Right.
What else did you guys do, and how much did you allocate towards your branding? Because that was such a impactful thing for you guys to establish.
Realistically, it doesn't take much. Social media is the way to go. You need to be on it. Facebook, Instagram, if you want to do TikTok and get into some of the other ones, those are absolutely the best way to go. Like it or not, it's just where it is. You need to be following agents in your market. You need to be responding and talking to them, and you need to start branding your new company within social media. And you don't even really have to spend any money. Now we dropped some ad spend on it. It doesn't have to be much. You could do it per day. You can do $10 a day. You can do $100 a month, and it'll divvy it up. But whatever you can do to get that name out there. Go to those all the stuff we've all learned, right? Go to those closings, wear the broker, wear your logoed stuff. Make sure you tag everybody that you can, and really work on reviews. Google reviews are huge. We, 2 years in, we're starting to see people find us on our website. People are Googling, who they should be using. And I think the wholesale channel has done a really good job of promoting brokers in general. We got some really great partners out there that do a good job. And, when a consumer gets a loan estimate from a retailer bank, it doesn't take much for them to do a quick Google search. So we've actually seen a number of clients come in, not from our traditional referral partners of realtors or financial advisors, but finding us online and just looking for that second opinion. So making sure your website's good. Google reviews are great. It's going to keep your SEO, keep you up high when they go to search rates in your market. And all those things don't cost a lot of money.
If I was just starting out launching my own shop, I'm just one person and got very little to spend, where would you say would be my best bang for my buck and my time as far as advertising?
It's going to be social media. It's just making posts constantly, making sure your name is getting out there. Again, if you have your company name tied to your name on your social media handle, whatever, for whatever platform you're on, and you're commenting and liking on all these realtors in your market, it's just going to constantly be putting that name in front of it. You can do that for free. I mean, it's just going to take some time. Spend
Yep.
every single day doing that.
Do you feel like that helped establish a level of trust with your customers, or is there other things that you did to establish that?
I think it's all of it. I think you've got buyers and consumers that are going to go online. So they're going to search the web, they're going to look on social media. And then again, it comes down to the loan officer, the individual LO, making those phone calls, being readily available to your clients. When that contract comes in, reaching out to that listing agent before they have a chance to call you. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do. In my market, it doesn't, we certainly have other LOs that do it, but it's not done by everybody. So when I have one of my agents send an offer in, I say, send me the listing agent's contact. I'll sometimes call them before they get the email of the actual offer, and it's impressive. Like they're like, "Well, I've never seen this before, but I appreciate you reaching out." So little things like that just goes so far, and you're earning the trust. I mean, ideally, of course, the company is important, but most realtors just want to trust the loan officer. So you do the right things as a loan officer, you earn that trust, the communications on top. You're going to get the business, and then you're going to work with these people down the road again and again. And it's nice. We're 2 years in. People know us. It's great. We get other loan officers who reach out all the time and are like, we love your marketing, love what you're doing online. We see you. We do events. So we sponsor events with our realtors, the local realtor association. So ours is Hurrah, Hampton Roads Realtor Association. We are affiliate sponsors with them. So we sponsor their events. So we're out and about with them. Just show your market that you're there to support them as an affiliate, and it'll go a long way.
Yeah, that's really, really awesome to hear how integrated you are with the community, not just on a consumer level, but also like that realtor level and just the community in general.
Absolutely.
What is your philosophy on referrals? Is it in word of mouth? I know you put a big emphasis on that trust and your reputation, but like, how do you feel about that overall?
Well, taking the owner hat off, going back, putting the originator hat, which I still completely originate. Still full-time originator as an owner of the broker. Referrals are, where my business comes from, right? So my relationships with the realtors are most important. That's where a majority of my business comes from. Now, having been in the business as long as I have, I certainly have residual. I've got past clients who call me. I have family of past clients who call me, which is great. But still, a majority of that business is coming from realtors. Um, Financial advisors, CPAs certainly do get a little bit of business there, but it is the realtors that bring most of the business. So always doing right by them. Whatever we need to do to close the deal. If I submit a pre-approval letter, that loan's closing. And that's what all my referral partners trust in me. It's important to, not throw stuff up against the wall, as they might say on our side, but to really do all your work up front so that when you send that pre-approval letter, you're going to get that loan to closing and everybody's going to get paid. Because ultimately, that's what your referral partner wants, right? But being there on time, answering the phones, it's annoying, but it's part of our business. We're on 7 days a week. Might be taking phone calls on Saturday or Sunday mornings, in the evenings. It's just, if you want to do well and be successful in this industry, it's just something that you have to do.
Well said. Can you share with us an example of a time where you did something small, maybe like a social post or reached out to somebody, um, but that it led to a big impact for your company?
I'm not sure I have one, a social post that led. Well, we like to do events at the broker. So one of the ones that we've done, and when I say events, like a lot of people do happy hours, right? You go to a brewery or something like that, and you invite a bunch of realtors and stuff. And a lot of lenders in our market do it, and that's fine. They work. They certainly bring, but we try to do something a little bit different. So we started 2 months ago. The broker did a midday like karaoke dance party. Just threw something completely different out. We went and rented a bar. We had a full on DJ, and it was just come on in, everybody dance in the middle, like sing out loud. It was pretty cool. In the middle of the day, we had a lot of people show up.
That's
And we
awesome.
we put those events on for our loan officers to come, invite their partners. We're inviting partners from different, from people that we don't, just so we could start networking, right? So it's events like that that have created new relationships. We're always inviting agents who, nobody from our office works from. So by doing those events, we find that, we pick up new agents all the time, and that's what we try to provide. Well, it's one of the things that we try to provide for our loan officers. So as far as I can't quite put on a post, but an event that we've done that we've certainly seen referrals come from.
That's really smart. That sounds like a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
the next
So I mean, you get a couple sponsors, you get some people from within the industry, right? We get a title company who wants to come and sponsor to help pay for it, a moving company, an insurance company. And at the end of the day, you got a $4,000 bill, but it's split up between 4 or 5, affiliates. As a broker, we might be spending $500 to $1,000 on top of, what the sponsors are bringing in. Our loan officers get to come and mingle with their current referral partners, but also meet new referral partners. So it's growing their business and their relationships with their current referral partners, but it's actually creating new ones. And we see business from it. So you can't be afraid to think outside the box, do some silly stuff sometimes, some fun stuff. And yeah, I mean, business comes.
That's really awesome. I like that. That's different than anything that I've heard other people say that they've done. So
I mean,
that's
look, the brewery stuff, the happy hours, they work. We do them as well. We do them all the time. We had an indoor golf simulator place that recently opened up in our market. So we rented out half of that place and did like a mini long drive contest and closer to the pin contest. We provide beer and some food. Get 20, 30 agents out there, have a good time, have some prizes for that. Just anything that you can do to connect, because it is business, but people, realtors and people within our industry, they're going to want to work with people that they get along with, that they connect with, and
yes.
they like. To just try to find, what you enjoy doing, and build your networking and events around that.
Is there a event or something that you've put money towards for relationship building or anything like that that was just a flop, and now like looking back on it, you're like, yeah, but moving forward, then that one's gonna be a hard pass from us.
Um, Not an event so much, but I will tell you, like, lead generation, which is what every realtor wants money for, whether it be Zillow leads or Realtor.com leads, they are so hard to make profitable. I've been in them in the past. They're difficult. They tend to not work. The agents aren't working the leads properly. So you end up spending $1,000 to $3,000 a month on this lead generation and not closing anything. You're locked into 6 to 12 months. I would say just be very careful of who you ever get into any type of lead generation with. If you are thinking about doing it, make sure you're doing it with an experienced realtor who has done leads. You don't want to be the guinea pig, work with a
Yeah.
brand new agent who's never done leads before, because they're not easy. You have to stay constant and on top of them. And usually what you find is you get that new agent who's hungry for them. They'll answer the calls for 2 weeks and then they fall off, and they don't do anything else with them.
They burned themselves out before they even caught a flame.
Correct. Correct. So lead gen is one I'd be careful of. Make sure you're getting with somebody who's got a proven track record. As far as events, no. I mean, to me personally, I feel like you got to stay consistent. Whatever you're
Yeah.
doing, stay consistent. Have we done happy hours where only a handful of agents showed up? Absolutely. You can't just say, oh, that didn't work, we're not going to do it. Because the very next month, we had 40 agents show up to the exact same one. So you just don't I think consistency is key with anything that you do. Don't give up on the first try. Um, Playing around. Another good event that I've done in the past is get with somebody who is accredited to do realtor CE courses because they need to do 8 hours a year. So,
Yep.
for instance, we got a couple insurance people in our market that can do actual CE courses. So, what I'll do is I'll rent out the back of a restaurant. They'll put together a nice, lunch menu down. We'll provide lunch for them. They'll do the CE course for an hour. And so they get credit for their CE lunch. And then you've got a captive audience of 20 to 30 agents, for an hour that you get to network with. That's always been a good one.
We actually, when I used to work for Toll Brothers, the home builder,
Mhm.
we used to do something similar to that as well because it is such a good opportunity to have that captive audience there. I like
Absolutely.
those ones.
Absolutely.
When you see you have friends in the industry, when you see new burgers starting to pop onto the market and they're trying to maybe look a little bit more established than what they really are at that moment, is there something that you see them do that you're like, that is a hard mistake? Don't do that one. Save yourself.
Yes. One, look, I am 100% on the wholesale side, right? I'm an independent mortgage broker. Retail's not for me. Do not trash the other models within the mortgage industry. There's banking, there's call centers, there's retail and correspondent. We all have a place in this industry. And one thing
Yeah.
that gets me is when you see these loan officers from whatever, whichever channel they're in, going and trashing the other side. Don't do that. Don't. It just makes you look so bad. If you
Yeah.
want to be the best, do what you're supposed to do, close deals on time, close your deals when you send a pre-approval letter, give your clients the best deal that you can give, and that will go a long way to creating the that trust in your market. I see it too often. It's a younger loan officer, a new loan officer. They'll say that they beat their competitor. They'll call them out and say what their rate was, and say how bad it was. Like at the end of the day, it just looks so bad on you to do that. So one, don't do that. Like we're all in this together. I've got great friends on the retail side and the banking side. And the reality of it is I get business from that. Like those are also referral partners because on the wholesale side, there are things that we can do that they can't, whether that be a low credit score loan or some type of non-QM that maybe doesn't fit in one of the buckets that they have available. I get business from retail. So why would I go and trash that model uh, when I've got friends over there that are actually sending me business throughout the year?
So true. Like what is your mom always telling you? Like, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing.
That's a hit it all, 100%. Like it just makes you look so bad. And I
Yeah.
see, and I've seen people do it. I've seen LOs do it, obviously, and they're going to keep doing it. And then I hear, realtors or other affiliates in the marketing, like, oh, did you see what so and so said? It looks so like I hear the negativity that they're causing. Um, this is me. Not everybody's going to follow it. I personally leave politics off of social media completely. We're in a very tough time right now in the
Completely
U.S.
charged.
It is very politically charged. You can't say anything without somebody saying you're wrong or you're a moron for saying it. I personally just feel like it's best to leave it out completely. If you were to go on my social media right now, you have no idea which side I'm voting for, and that's how I like to keep it. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to do loans for anybody.
Yes.
Just be a good person, and that's all that really matters.
That's good advice. Yeah. As we're seeing new trends and new ideas that pop up, how do you stay focused on what your company's mission and goals are without getting distracted by all the bright, shiny new things?
There's a lot of those, especially in the wholesale side, working with a lot of different lenders. I like to say, at the end of the day, we're doing really three loans, right? VA, FHA, and conventional, and they're all going to pop out their little marketing twists. And we have this product, or you come over here and do this. And they tend to be such a small percentage of loans that I would actually originate personally. I ignore them. I know what our focus is. We are predominantly a VA lender. Here in Hampton Roads, we have every branch of the military in our market. A lot of transient, obviously, they're PCS in every 3 years. I'd say personally, 60% of my business is VA. Company wide, we're probably pretty close, 50 to 60. So I just know I know where we fit, right? I know
Yeah.
we're going to be strong with our VA borrowers, rate wise and fees wise, and that's what I go after. All the glitz and glamour and all the specialty stuff that comes out, it's best just to ignore them. And my advice would be, if you come on the wholesale side and you've got a lender and an account executive that's trying to sell you on something that just rolled out, leave it a few months. Go back to them in a few months and say, is this still available and how is it working? Because the reality of it is they throw stuff up there to try to get you to bite, and they end up changing it or moving it or leaving it, pretty quickly. So I tend to just ignore it personally.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have a clear idea of where you see your niche and where you see your company going
Yes.
and staying focused on it. I mean, I easily reevaluate that as time goes on, but if you don't, you're constantly chasing everything and you're trying to advertise to everybody.
Right.
But in that, you're just, losing deals left and right or spreading yourself too thin and not giving the quality service that you can.
That's 100% right. We've got a few LOs in our market that do just blast. I mean, their marketing is, we have 300 lenders we can use. We have all these products. And then when you go and look at their production, it's like, you're not doing any of this. You're using two of those 300 lenders that you're marketing. Like, are you even an independent mortgage broker at that point? So, yeah, it gets tough. And we go back to your point about the newer LOs, the whole like fake it till you make it thing. Like, there's so much information out there nowadays. Like, we know when you're faking it. Don't say stuff that's not happening. Like, if don't fake your production. Um, if you think you know, like if you don't know the answer or a guideline or something, don't put it out there. Like, you've got management. There's tools online. You can find stuff. The whole like fake it till you make it thing is just be real. Just be the person you are.
Be real. That's key. People want to do business with people that they feel that they have a connection with. And if
Yep.
you're just trying to be the like Instagram perfection
Yeah.
and that's just
Yeah.
not you, it's gonna fall apart.
It will. It absolutely will.
Um, when you first got your business established, you're on your own now. What was something that you felt shifted mindset wise after you started doing your first couple of deals under the broker?
The reality, because I was in wholesale prior, not much. I mean, my originating stayed the same. I knew what the end goal was. I knew what the marketing or what I needed to do as far as my networking and so forth to keep that maintained. I think what really shocked me was the amount of work owning a company added to my plate of just originating, right? I thought I had that figured out beforehand or had an idea of what it was going to take, but there's a lot more work involved. So if you're going to originate and do 100 plus units, personally, it's going to take some time. And on that, so before we started the broker, I had never had an LOA. So I've never had an assistant prior. I had some good years, and by my standards, that 120 to 140 unit a year, all done by myself. I would register, lock, disclose those files myself. Now the other companies I was with, we'd have a processor who would then process those files, but I did all the upfront work myself. And coming and starting the broker and realizing all the extra stuff I had to do, whether it be working an audit or doing payroll, or just auditing files that come in, and just, checks come in, just even processing your checks that come in on a daily basis, which is a good thing, by the way. I mean, we don't hate that. We love that.
Love that.
It adds time to your day, and it takes away. So I actually did, I got a LOA pretty quickly after starting, and that's been a huge help to take the front end of originating off my shoulders.
That's awesome. In doing that and doing production and, payroll and everything else that comes along with marketing and all the things
Mhm.
and trying to still grow and maintain everything, how do you avoid burnout and how do you encourage your team and yourself to have a mindset to stay focused, even when it's just no longer like exciting?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's been in this industry for more than 3 months knows that burnout's real, that you're going to have, difficult files that are really going to wear on you. So you've got that normal business wear and tear, whether that be mentally or physically on you. And then, of course, the business side of things, it gets tough. So I think it's important, mental health is a big thing to be able to take time to do stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
I personally like to play golf. When I get on the golf course, I try to look at my phone a little less and just enjoy what I'm doing there. Alvin, my business partner at the broker, and I, we've also started personal training for the whole company. So Alvin owns a few gyms in our market, and one of our loan officers' wife is a personal trainer. So we hire her Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for an hour. And anybody, we usually have anywhere between 4 to 5, all the way up to 12 employees. So this is loan officers, these are processors, LOAs are allowed to take that time off. They come to the gym. We do a good group workout. And I think it's been great. The kind of the motivation, the accountability behind it, but keeping our employees healthy
Yeah.
is a big part of healthy and happy is a big part of being able to get through those tougher times.
What's really cool about that is being a team and working out together and seeing the growth in each other and hearing that version
Oh,
towards each
100%.
other.
100%. To be able to see what we've, what some people have done in just a short amount of time who have never worked out before. And we're seeing it translate into other parts, right? It's, maybe a little less Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A for lunch, and you're starting to see some salads or some healthier sandwiches come
Yeah.
in. But like, that's exactly what we wanted it to do. You start working out on a regular basis, and I've always been one to not just try to say, all right, I'm doing this, I'm cutting everything off and I'm going to eat healthy. No, just slowly edge into it. So we're seeing that, by working out a little bit more regularly, it's translating to better decisions in other parts of their life, which has been great to see.
Yeah. Again, you're seeing the consistency in one arena of your life. You're kind of like, okay, now I've got momentum, I've got support, I've got a team that not only do I work out with, but I also work with, and they're going to keep me accountable. Let me add in these other elements, and it kind of just trickles
Yep.
into the rest of your life. And hopefully they go home happier. They can be a better member of their families and sleep soundly. I mean, it's so important.
Absolutely.
When you are looking at investing, well, it sounds like you're investing in your team and it sounds like you're investing in your company. Do you find that it's more advantageous for you to invest into the people or into the systems?
Oh, for the people, 100%. So, at the broker, we feel like our compensation structures pretty top as far as our market is concerned. We pay our loan officers well. We have a matched 401k. We have health and dental insurance that we pay half of the employees for those. Our processors and LOAs are paid really well compared to our market. So we feel like having them happy, giving back to them is what's gonna help translate to more originations. We've got a young guy who mid-20s who came over, a good producer. Mom's an agent. Came over and it looks he's going to be close to tripling his production in a year and a half that he's been with
Wow.
us. That's reinvesting with him. That's having him work with us, showing him how we do it, how we build our business, and him just following and making sure that he's got all the tools that he needs. So we just one example of I think giving back to your employees and not being you certainly can't be greedy in this industry. There's too many options out
Yeah.
there. So
That's really awesome. Um, Going back to the example of me just starting off my own company as a broker and not having deep pockets, what is one piece of advice you would give to me starting off?
don't overdo it with the partners that you sign up with. Again, I know going back to my comment about, also don't skew this to be, working with one partner. As independent mortgage brokers, I think you should have a good range of wholesale lenders to work with, right? I see a lot of wholesale lender or a lot of brokers who use one wholesale lender, and to me, you're not a broker. You're just sending all your business to one lender. Sign up with a good 3 or 4 of them that has a good mix of products. You don't need more than that starting off. Get to know your account executives well. Lean on them as much as you can. They've been, in most cases, our account executives have been in business a long time. They're great with guidelines. They've helped structure deals if necessary. And just don't overdo it. Don't think that you're going to open up and have all these people want to come originate for you, that you're going to be able to recruit so many people all at once and blow up. Like, you don't want that. You want to go
Yeah,
slow. Build slow is probably the best thing I can say. Get your systems built out. If you get one LO to come over, figure out your payroll, figure out how file your checks when they come in, and just do things slowly, because what you don't want to do is get overwhelmed, right? Um, you don't want to bring on 15 different wholesale lenders, and they're all calling you all the time, and you don't have production to fill up 15 of them. Don't go sign up with 10 or 12 states all at once and deal with that. Just take your time. Just work your market, and just grow slowly. Expand as you need to.
exactly. I think that's really good advice, is just like expand when that's the appropriate thing, not necessarily because it's the flashiest thing or you think you're going to be like
Right.
closing deals in every single state, every single month. Like that.
Yeah, you're not. You're not. It's just the reality of it. You're not. We strategically picked our states around the military,
Yeah.
right? Because we're military heavy. We look at PCS states. So those were the first ones that we looked at to add. We get some onesie twosies in a couple of the states, and that's fine for us. But yeah, don't just go pick out random states just to start adding them. It just adds more compliance and more headache for you in the long
That's
run.
so true. All right. Well, if people want to know more about the broker or you or your company, where can they find and connect?
Absolutely. Obviously, online is probably the best bet. Website is thebrokerva.com and thebrokerhi.com. We do have an office in Hawaii. We've got a team out there. They've been doing really well. And so either one of those, we'd be happy to talk to you.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate talking with.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's been great. All right. Bye.
All right, that's a wrap on today's episode of Approved AF. So, here's what you can do next. Hit subscribe so you don't miss another upcoming episode. Head on over to licensingstore.com if you want help getting licensed, staying compliant, or growing without the chaos. Share this with somebody who might find it helpful, and follow along because every episode is designed to get you one step closer to being Approved AF.